the METS. Step right up and greet the METS. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the METS are really sucking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS METS of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the METS. Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the METS. All the fans are true to the orange and blue. So hurry up and come on down. Cause we got ourselves a ball from the METS of New York town. Give them a yell. Give them a head. And let them know you're rooting and stand. Come on and meet the METS. Meet the METS.
Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball HUD, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the HUD. And please like this video and subscribe to the Baseball HUD as I do regular videos and live streams and talk about our favorite team. And we're getting very close now to pitchers and catchers. And it's going to happen this week on Friday. At least for the Mets on Friday. On Wednesday, it'll be those skunks, the Yankees, that'll be going on Wednesday. Now I'm going to have a couple morning shows, I think, here at the Baseball HUD coming up this week. All likelihood Wednesday and Friday, so you got to keep the eye out for it. So we say hello to a couple people in the chat, a few people in the chat. From SBFM Baseball Channel. That's a mouthful. Hello, Eddie Wilkes. Hello, Matthew Landau, Jason Kidd, Ernie Delgado. What's going on? Knox, the Mothman, Jonathan Williams, Rolo's Rockstar 20s, Mr. Mysterio, Nelson Espada, Tremont Productions, Daniel Cohen, and Kid 28. Yes, happy Valentine's Day. It's happy Bobby Valentine. You know, let's get it straight. It's happy Bobby Valentine's Day. And as you know, it is Valentine's Day, and let's celebrate it and talk about Bobby a little bit, I think, in a couple minutes. But a couple things. In a day or so, maybe later on tonight, I'll post a little bit of memorabilia here that I have. Some of the things that I've collected is just sort of more sentimental than anything else, really. And hopefully you'll get a chance to see it. Hopefully you'll get a chance to see it over the next couple of hours and days and whatnot. So hopefully you'll get a chance to look at it. And that's going to be a good time once I start putting stuff on. And I'll also post it on Facebook. You need to follow me on Facebook. Yeah, so we'll get into these minor league deals they did in a minute. Also, keep your eye out for this whole thing with the memberships. The community started up yesterday on this channel, so just keep your eye out for the next thing, which will be all the different kind of little extras that channels get when they get over 1,000 subscribers. Next thing's the memberships. I know people are looking for that. Also, like I said, the last couple of weeks I've been talking about offering you merchandise and just changing some of the artwork on the channel. I'll let you know the next week or two. My graphic designer is going to be looking at the stuff this week, and hopefully I'll get back to you fairly shortly with that. I know a lot of people have been asking for it. Hello, Chris. Hello, Jonathan. Yeah, so the Mets today, they signed two relievers off minor league deals, Mike Montgomery and Tommy Hunter. Now, Montgomery is a left-hander who pitched the last out of the World Series in 2016, and Tommy Hunter's been bouncing around. These aren't earth-shattering things, But Montgomery's interesting because he's left-handed. We'll see how he pitches. But these aren't going to like change much. They're just depth pieces like they always do. And they were invited to spring training. I think the Mets have about 6 or 7 more spots where they can bring in more people, bring in more minor league guys on minor league contracts, or if they want to bring somebody in here from the actual minor leagues. Hello, are you kidding me? Huh? How you doing? What's going on? Now, please like the video. And we will be just sort of shooting the breeze like we always do. I like shooting the breeze. I like talking to you all. Now, this big move, we've been talking about this over the last few days. According to certain National League executives, they've talked that the Mets are probably they're itching to do something big. Now, people have said the Mets haven't done anything, but I would point out the Mets have brought in the best player that was moved this offseason. And that's Francisco Lindor, as well as one of the best pitchers in the market this offseason, Carlos Carrasco. He's as good as that goofball Trevor Bauer. And in fact, he's a better character. All right, Bangkok, you got a joke for me. Hope it's clean. Hello, Traymon Productions. The Space Dog. How long a leash does Rojas have? Well, he's thinking about Louis Rojas. I don't know. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not the biggest fan of his. So with me, it's not a big leash. It's not a long leash. He's going to have a lot of pressure on him. This is a team that's expected to win. This is a team that's expected to win at least 90 games, if not 96 games. And that's what's been predicted. From Bangkok, did you hear the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last week? Apparently, they got 4 mail-in touchdowns overnight, and they were announced 37-30. That ain't right. Such grumpiness. What's going on here? These are regular people that these are names I don't normally see. That's not nice. We don't use. Now I'm gonna have to put you in a timeout there, SF, the baseball channel. Sorry. I have to put you in a timeout. Sorry. From the Space Dog, Bobby V was a weirdo, but a good manager. He was a very good manager. He's a little out there, but he's very smart. He might have been the smartest manager the Mets ever had. At least since I've been a Met fan. Most successful was obviously Davey Johnson. But boy, Bobby was a smart manager. You ask him, he'll tell you. Even if you don't ask him, he'll tell you anyway. From Traymon Productions, bring back Terry. Did you really think that way when Terry was here? Most people didn't like Terry as a manager. That's right. Took them to the World Series. One of the most boring World Series in the history of baseball. That 2000 World Series. And the Yankees did not want to be in that World Series against the Mets. They want no part of it. They want no part of the media, nothing. Now, please like this video along the way. Well, that was always the talk back then, when the Mets played. I would not be a good manager. I would not be a good manager. From Traymon, Terry was a good manager. He always fought for his players, something that the past 2 managers did. Well, the one manager was too busy texting women, sending pictures of himself with no shirt on. So he's a little distracted. One thing you'll say about Louis, he has a baseball background. His father was a manager for a long time. His brother was a player. His uncles were in the major leagues. So he's not going to, Louis is not going to embarrass himself. If he does, I'd be really shocked if he did something along those lines. Louis is, he's low energy. That's the problem with Luis Rojas. He's got low energy. Are you kidding me? Huh? Who will the Mets play in the World Series this year? Well, here's the thing: the Mets have not played any games. Nobody's played spring training games yet. We need to see. I need to see these teams play, obviously. And we'll get a real good chance to see what the deal is once we start seeing the games played. And it's going to be interesting. What's interesting is that they're going to be traveling. They're not going to be playing in division this year. The Space Dog, Wally Backman deserves a shot. He would be our answer to Billy Martin, tougher former second baseman with a temper. In this day and age, Wally would never make it. There's a lot of problems with Wally. Sorry. He's not going to get it. He would have gotten it a long time ago. Hello, Benjamin. The Morph Man, the Mets are itching to make a move. What move would you predict occurs? I was saying probably Chris Bryant, but I'm thinking that the Cubs are probably going to take this group that they have there in Chicago and make one big push with this group. And if they don't make a big push and going into July, I think they'll break the team up. I think that's a big reason why they brought back Jake Arrieta. As maybe they can sort of catch lightning in a bottle with him. And hope that they get something out of him. And get something out of him. Maybe they put some energy into their fan base a little bit. They have a chance to win the division. But if they don't do what they probably think they're going to do, and it's compete for that division, I could see old Chris Bryant getting traded. From Draymond Productions. When the Mets go to the West Coast, Gary, Keith, and Ron will be at Citi Field. I know. They were talking about it. I saw that. They were talking about that behind the booth, back in the booth. That show they have. And they were talking about that. They're going to have to do the games at 10 o'clock at night. That's not going to go over well with Keith. He's going to be grumpy there. From Jimmy, who has more people in the fandom zone, Hutt or Trevor Bauer? There's not even a competition. He's not. Trevor's not even close to my. This is like a jail cell. It's like a prison. There's not too many people on this side, to be honest with you. But a lot from the comic book side. Bangkok baseball. The Cubs are going nowhere this. Yeah, but they may think that they have a chance for that division. That's not a good division. And the Cardinals can be beat. From the Morph Man again, I can see Castillo coming to the Mets. That would be a big splash. Well, we'll see. I'm going to have to give up a lot for him. Eric G. What's going on, Eric G? How you be? What do you say? So today they signed again Mike Montgomery and Tommy Hunter to minor league contracts. So let's see who else is here. Benjamin says, as the Cubs have to re-sign Rizzo and Baez, they also gave up Victor Caratini and Almora and Darvish and Schwarber. And Brian said he doesn't want to play there. You know? He doesn't. He's disgruntled. He's been disgruntled for a long time. Hello, Michael. Jimmy Jaworski, do you work in a comic book shop? No. Yeah, he's out there, boy. He is really out there. Rolo's Rockstar 20s. It's mid-February, and the Mets are still trying to make it. They made a big splash. They want to make another big splash. They brought in the best player on the market. They brought in the best player that was moved this year. And that was Francisco Lindor. They want to do another move. They want to do another one. I don't know what's with this Warren character. You're getting a timeout. But I saw the joke already. I got a joke for you. Here's a joke. Skadoosh. Partially for 5 minutes. The Space Dog. Any news on the Suarez and Gray deal? Since we haven't heard much. We haven't heard much in the last few months. So now I haven't heard much, to be honest with you. Let's see. Are you kidding me? How many Major League Baseball ballparks have you been to, Hut? I've been, I wish I'd been to a lot more. I've been to Camden Yards. I think everybody's been to Camden Yards. Been there a few times. I've been to Philadelphia. I went to the old Philly place. Veterans Stadium. I went to Veterans Stadium. I've been to Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium. And I've not been to the new Yankee Stadium, to be honest with you. Shea and Citi Field. We were going to go years ago to Wrigley Field, the family was planning on going to Wrigley Field. But we couldn't find like a hotel that was like close to the ballpark there. Because everything is like in the middle of the city, And it's in a residence, it's in a residential neighborhood. But back then there wasn't any hotels, So, when you have that kind of and we wanted to walk there, we didn't want to have to take, travel. When they had the old ballpark with Veterans Day, we had to take a cab, where the hotel was. But it wasn't that far, but in Chicago, the hotels were so far back then. I don't know if I want to go to Dodger Stadium. I heard Dodger Stadium sucks. That's what I've heard. The Space Dog vet was a dump. Shea was Evansfield. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I love old Shea. I knew everything was at Shea. I was not, I'm not, Citi Field is nice, but I have a tough time trying to find certain things. Like if I want to leave a few minutes before everybody else does, if I do that, or I like to wander around the ballpark, I get lost sometimes going there. That's the only thing. METS Nick's boy, what's going on? Sean Zarnicki, what's going on? Mothman, Dodger Stadium's a trash heap of baseball. Well, it was, the thing about Dodger Stadium was built in the 50s, It's probably one of the more modern stadiums. But it's the pre Shea Stadium, the pre Astrodome and the Veterans Stadium. But it's and it's in in the valley or something? Because it's down, all the mountains up high, over there. It's like in a weird spot. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's in a ravine, right? Chevaz Ravine. From Bangkok, anybody here ever watch a game in Tampa Tropicana Dome? Oofa. That is ugly. Well, you don't want to be drinking too much there, Jimmy. Hello, John Talento. Angels have a beautiful stadium. Well, they did a lot of renovation on that ballpark. Harbor Brady, looks like Justin Wilson is signing with the Yankees, especially when the Mets just signed a couple of relief pitchers to minor league contracts. There's a story out here that the Mets are still talking to Justin Wilson. So there's still talk. But I would think that that's probably over with. I don't think he's going to sign with the Mets now. They were saying that there was a mystery team. I guess the Yankees were the mystery team that was on him. I could take him or leave him, quite frankly. He's got a good arm. I wouldn't mind him coming back, but I have no problem with him leaving. From Bangkok, I was at Tropicana last year, and it's like watching a game in a Walmart warehouse. It only sits 20-something thousand. They didn't even get 20-something thousand. They get 5,000 there. Mets Knicks boy, Pittsburgh has a good one. Sanguine, former Pirates catcher, has a great sausage stand. I've heard that about the Pittsburgh ballpark. That's a beautiful place. That's considered one of the more nicer ones. Arclight, nice clickbait title. You get an unsub from me. Are you a comic book person? Tell me. You know, it's very. You know what I do here, right? If you don't want to be here, no one's telling you to. If you don't like the way I title the videos, you should have your own channel. Arclight. You know, if you don't like it, no one's telling you to stick around. My goodness, very childish. If you don't like it here, you don't have to stay here. Simple as that. I'm saying you unsubbing me, it's like a childish thing. I'm leaving, I'm out of here. You know. Bye-bye. He skadooshed himself. From Jarrett Wolf, do you think the Mets still have a blockbuster move coming soon? I don't think that, but National League Executive does. Talking about this over the last few days, and no, he's a regular. He's written to me before. He never got nasty before, like that. But I think that they say that the Mets have a move and they want to make another move. You know, if you don't want to follow my channel, you don't have to. You know, I'm not. It's all free. You know, watching the channel is free. You don't want to subscribe, you don't have to. You don't have to. Don't get hung up on a title. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? It's I don't know if he's a Yankee fan. He's a little grumpy. The Yankees have had a great offseason. Who did they sign? They spent a lot of money, the Yankees. No. Who cares about the title of the video? You know. Let's see. Very busy chat here tonight. Everybody's chatty. Chit chat. I might have missed some people. Hello, Robert. So who are they getting and what are they giving up? Well, that's a good question. We've heard the names Luis Castillo and we've heard Chris Bryant. Now, Chris Bryant, I don't think he's moving anytime soon. You know. And Chris Bryant, they're not going to have to give up a lot. They'll give up less than what they gave up for Francisco Lindor. The Mets would give up probably guys that you won't never heard of before. From Bangkok, Yankee fans are jealous they don't have their own hut. That's right. It's no Yankees hut. From Michael Scott, I missed the doggy. I miss the doggy. Out in front of City Field with the glass and cigar. I know, he's such a sweet animal, isn't he? He is a sweet animal. And I would point out that I'm also on Facebook. You need to follow me on Facebook as we are on both platforms. So let me put in the chat my link to my Facebook account. I haven't done much work on Facebook. I got to start really pushing Facebook, I think. Do separate videos on there, I think. Separate live stream, short ones. There we go. Here in the chat, we got the Facebook account of Baseball Hut. You need to follow me on there. And yeah, no one cares about the Yankees. You're absolutely right, Trent. Nobody cares about the Yankees. Nobody. Nobody cares about the Yankees. From Anthony, the fake mustache. A trip down Amnesia Lane. Amnesia Lane, boy. They should have Bobby Valentine disguise day at Citi Field. If we're gonna have the Bobby Bonilla parade on July 1st, we should have a Bobby Valentine disguise day. The Space Dog. This is a Mets forum. Yankee fans keep it cool or take a hike. That's right. There is a disclaimer on this channel. You go on my About section, it says that. There's no screwing around here. There's no screwing around on this channel. So if a Yankee fan comes, they get thrown out of here pretty quickly. They always say the same way, you Mets fans. And like the robots, they are 27 World Series, Let's check Twitter, see what's going on. So how's everybody doing tonight? Where are you from? I always like asking people that. Where are y'all from? I'm from Queens. So tell me where you all from. Shout it out. Shout it out. I'm in Queens. Okay, so according to Ken Davidoff of the New York Post, the Mets are still in on. The Mets are still in on Justin Wilson, and Davidoff's a good reporter. And it's funny, Andy Martino again. Let's talk about Andy a little bit. He said the Mets were going to get Jake Arrieta. They didn't get Jake Arrieta. He also said they were going to get James Paxton. They didn't get James Paxton. James Paxton went back to his home. Benjamin's from Queens. Jimmy's from Pine Barrens. John Kearney's from New Jersey. North Carolina. That's someone from North Carolina. From Jimmy. Are the Mets better than a 10-1 shot this year? I don't know about odds, but they're going to win a lot of games. They're going to win a lot of games. 90 games. But a lot's going to depend on the closer. If the Mets don't get a closer that is, if he doesn't close the games out, Diaz doesn't do what he's supposed to do, this team's going to struggle. The Space Dog, the 7-line army, own the bleacher creatures in the Bronx before the pandemic. Yep, well, they go all over the place. The bleacher creatures go one place. Memphis. Michael Scott's from Memphis, son. There you go. Thank you very much. Michael Scott, you really from? That's awesome. From Anthony, live in Queens, originally from Manhattan, and his wife's from the Bronx. So you've been everywhere. Space Dog, Newton, New Jersey, born in Brooklyn, raised in Jersey City. From Bangkok, Andy Martino just makes up shit and helps get something right wrong. Long Island, Suffolk. Let's see. What Blue Shirt Podcast? What's going on? Graceland. That's right, son. You're from Graceland? I brought my mom to Graceland one time. Bought her a car. Marco Galino. Born in Brooklyn and raised in Brooklyn. So you're in Brooklyn. Live in Brooklyn? I didn't ask for your life story that, Mark. I just want to know where you are. Draymond Productions, Washington Heights. That's all the way up in Manhattan. It's all in northern Manhattan, all the way up. Is that close to Harlem? Huh. I'm going to get some Valentine cookies there, guys. They made me lemon cookies, but they're not Valentine's lemon cookies. She's sending me a picture. Oh, those are nice. Wish I could show you these cookies. These are nice cookies. Now, please like this video as I write right back to my woman about cookies. From Samuel Acevedo. Lugo going down must be addressed now. Oh, do they play tomorrow there, Samuel? Do they play tomorrow? They don't play tomorrow. So it doesn't need to be addressed tomorrow. No need to scream. More than one exclamation point. And no need to use all caps. Bensonhurst. Marco, you're from Bensonhurst? But move to Queens. That's not as glamorous as Bensonhurst. Brooklyn's not as glamorous as Queens, to be honest with you. That's the thing about Lugo is that he's not really Seth Lugo's got a great arm. He's got great stuff. He's got a great breaking ball. But you can't like pitch him back to back out of the bullpen. You can't start him because it's just too many innings on his arm. And that elbow's going to need Tommy John at some point. The Mets are lucky that he's just getting a bone spur taken out of the arm, I'm sure that's very painful. I mean, I got a bone spur in my hand. It moves around once in a while. It hurts, So, you just imagine when he's throwing it, So, I can understand, people wanting to pitch him a lot, but you can't pitch him a lot. He's like a very fancy car, Now they get out the postseason, they're just going to pitch him. They're not going to care. And Draymond, if the Wilpons were here, they were here, and they didn't run him into the ground. It's a little bit different than with Pedro Martinez. It's different with Pedro. But now I'm going to do my best this week. I don't want to make promises. But this week I am going to call WFAN. And I will do something this week by calling WFAN. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through. I'm going to try to call a Boomer and G. I don't know how they format this show. I don't know in terms of callers and stuff. Do they take random callers, or do they have like a format like Mike and the Mad Dog used to have, where they would have a subject the first hour and they didn't take calls on anything other than that subject, and then as the show went on, it got looser and whatever. I don't know, but so I'm gonna see if I can get through. You never know how these programs are. From Jimmy, how come everyone has the last name of a former Met? Delgado, Acevedo, Abreu, Space Dog. Well, I don't know too many players named Space Dog. But I have a very high amount of Spanish-speaking subscribers on this channel and Hispanics on my channel, which is great. And I will be putting out merchandise, and some of them will be in Spanish. Hello, Everything Sports 12. What's going on? Michael Scott, should we let the Wilpons rest in peace? Aha. Here's the thing. Let me read what the Morphan said. Call WFAN Hut and please go after Andy Martino after everything he did to us this offseason, all of the false reports. Also, Maggie, she's awful. I can't stand her. So what I'm going to see, the Wilpons, now Fred doesn't care. Fred has moved on. But Jeff hasn't. Because Jeff was the one that sicked this Dave Portnoy onto Steve Cohen and got him off of Twitter. And if I get a hold of Boomer and Gio, I'm going to ask them, did they know that he's friends with Jeff Wilpon? Did they know that Portnoy was part of the investment group that was part of A-Rod's investment group that tried to buy the Mets from the Wilpons? I wonder if they knew that. Did they tell their listeners that? Did they tell their listeners that? I highly doubt it. So So it's going to be, it'll be interesting. And I know Boomer. I've known Boomer, not know personally, but I know his reputation from years ago, all these years on the radio. He's very thin skinned. He doesn't like any criticism whatsoever. He gets extremely uptight and very angry very quickly. You know, but that's the thing about Boomer. I know this from years ago because there were times when he was coming up as a broadcaster where Imus would make fun of him, and Boomer did not take well to it. He didn't take well to it. There, if you go on YouTube, you'll find videos of a Boomer literally strangling Imus, physically wringing his neck because of the stuff that Imus was saying about him. So he's got a very thin skin. So that's the one thing if I do this, that he's going to go ballistic. Because if I say to him it was a setup to go after Cohen because they're trying to help Jeff Wilpon. And I would point out they've not said a damn thing. They've not said a damn thing about Wilpon encouraging and being in the support for Mickey Callaway in 2018 when they found out that he was sending inappropriate pictures to those reporters. From Benjamin Kutcher, sources say Mets most likely not pursuing Bryant. What sources? Bank, I would point out about Portnoy and Jeff Wilpon, they went to the same college. They went to Michigan. There's a picture. I have it. And I should repost it. And now where's these sources say about Chris Bryant? I don't think Chris Bryant's moving right now. Mike Rowley, Steve Summers, and Joe Mandingo are my favorite on the WFAN. Steve Summers, how you be? What's there? From the Wolfman, it's less important. That's what he's been hearing all offseason. Almost every source was wrong. The thing about this has been a really bad offseason for the media. They did a terrible job this offseason. They didn't get any of it right. John Heyman was so reliable, got so many things wrong. Busto only got so many things wrong. I think a lot, it's just strange, that they were wrong about so many different things. From Michael Scott, I never had a good feeling for Callaway, even from the start. Oh, we're going to love the players more than we've ever loved anybody before. All right. Warren, Felicia, whatever. Skadoosh, you're gone. Bye-bye. I had enough of you. Enough of that stupid joke. Stupid. Here's being we're going to love the players more than anyone's ever been loved. It was such a strange thing he said. That was one of the strangest things that a manager would say. It basically says I'm not gonna really criticize the players. And as it turned out, Ahmed Rosario wasn't playing hard, and at first Mickey didn't sit him. He should take him out as long as he, as quickly as he could. I have a joke for you. You take an app off your phone and somebody bugs it out. Anyway, this thing with the Wilpons, they've not asked the Wilpons for any statement when it came to Mickey Callaway. And I'm going to ask them, how come you didn't ask for a statement from them? Why did Steve Cohen have to answer for Mickey Callaway? Why did Sandy have to answer for it? Because they're the Mets now? That's ridiculous. I just thought it was very strange and very dishonest the way they've treated Steve Cohen the last few months. It took them a month to start complaining that he wasn't doing much. And then after they brought in Francisco Lindor a week later, they were still complaining about what the Mets weren't doing instead of what the Mets had been doing. Morphman, what do you think of Zach Scott thus far, Hut? He's got no personality. He's stiff. He was very nervous in that. Hold on a second. Please like this video if you haven't already. Rolo's Rockstar 20s. Sadie hired Mickey and Cohen is the new owner. That's what Boomer would say. But here's the thing. This thing that this came out about this reporter and Mickey came out after Sandy left the organization, and Jeff stuck up for him when he found out. So Steve has nothing to do with it. He has nothing to do with that. He has absolutely nothing to do with that situation. So he shouldn't have to answer under any circumstances. The Space Dog, if Ross gets off to a bad start, who do we want to, if he gets fired? Lou Piniella, or Mike Scioscia. Lou Piniella, he hasn't managed in 15 years. Lou Piniella, last time he managed was the Cubs. That was like 2007. Lou Piniella. Lou Piniella. Mothman, if you knew that what Porter was doing, they should have talked to you. Lou Piniella. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't say the ghost of whoever, the ghost of Earl Weaver at this point. Lou Piniella. Who doesn't manage anymore? He hasn't managed in a long time. The Dallas Green. Get the ghost of Dallas Green to manage this team. Lou Piniella. Whitey Hurst, just ring out old managers. Rolo's Rockstar 20s. Bring back Rojas or bring back Beltran or Rojas. Nah, that's not going to happen. They'll bring in somebody that has experience. I'll give you a name that you should keep an eye on. Maybe not for this year, but for next year is Bob Melvin. Bob Melvin's contract is up with the A's after this season. And I'm sure he's going to want to raise. He's going to want to raise. And if he wants to raise, he's going to be gone. He's managing that team a long time. And he was up for the job back in 2010 when Sandy took over. And they did talk to Bob Melvin, and he was with the Mets for a few months after that. Mets Nick's board. Hut, do you have an Instagram? Not for this channel. What I will do, it's so much social media going on. It's very overwhelming for me with some of it. But I have a community page on my channel. And if you go on your phone, you'll see it's right next to, it's Homes, Videos, Playlists, and Community. And you'll see. And I haven't posted anything yet, but I'll post some memorabilia stuff. And you can write to me if you want and stuff like that. And that's a good way for us to interact. Show me your face. Show your face. Everything Sports 12. What is happening with Rojas? Nothing. He's not going anywhere. We're just talking in the chat. Rojas needs to do a good job. If he doesn't do a good job, he's going to be gone. And you're going to be talking about managers that like Buck Showalter. And I would have liked to see them brought in Dusty Baker. They didn't do that. They brought in Rojas because the Wilpons wanted to be cheap. I would have been happy if they brought in Dusty because they would have been in good shape. They would have been a winning team last year. And Pete wouldn't have had the disastrous 6-7 weeks of the season like he did. Dusty's great with these big players, these big stars. He knows how to manage it. Felix Ortiz, bring back Bobby V. Now, that's not a bad idea. But Bobby's 70 years old now. He's not, this is not, or 71 years old. He's not 50 years old. You know, imagine Mike Piazza and Edgardo Alfonso and Crazy Al Leiter. You know. Now, please like this video if you haven't already, and please subscribe and by the title of the video. Yeah, why these teams were fun to watch except when they beat the Mets. Then it wasn't so much fun, by the way. Happy Bobby Valentine's Day. I don't think David Johnson wants to manage anymore. He just got over. He's still recovering from the COVID virus, so I don't think he's really up for snuff. I think. Benjamin Hutt, look at John McEnany on Twitter. All right, I follow him, but he's been wrong over the last couple of days. Now, let's see. Just okay. This is what McEnany is saying. Just talk the source. Doesn't think there is much motivation for Mets to pursue Bryant. Asking price is too high. Plan could be to let Davis play until June and then reevaluate the position. Well, that makes sense. You know, that makes sense. I mean, you know, to be honest with you, you know, which is kind of what I've been thinking anyway for the last week or two. You know, I mean, it's the most obvious thing. Like I said, if the Cubs brought an Arrieta to sort of rekindle memories of 2015, 2016, and hope they can make a run with some of these guys, even the postseason. If they get off to a slow start, then they will trade Bryant. I can guarantee you that one, because they're not going to resign him. Then he'll be purely a rental. Bangkok Baseball, Mets are getting Chapman. Well, we'll see. Everything Sports 12. Do you think Matt Chapman is coming to the Mets hut? Well, I'm not sure. He would be a great defensive player here, that's for sure. You know, he's a great defensive player. He's okay as a hitter, but in this line, you get Bam 6th, you get Bam 7th, and he'll be very productive. Morphman, since it seems like from the Morphman, since it seems like the Mets won't be addressing third base, where does the attention go to now position wise? There's nowhere. It's about the pitching now. They're going to be bringing in more minor league contract guys. I don't see them. You know, I did the title of this video. I can come up with a trade. You know, I could come up with a trade for Matt Chapman. I can come up with a trade for Alex Bregman. You know, and I could come up with a very good trade for both teams. Space Dog, McNeil at third and Villar at second. Nah, they kind of decided to play McNeil at second. I don't think they're going to do that. And Villar's not that good. He's better off. You want him on the bench. I heard he's very frustrated as a player. Yeah. Everything Sports 12. Wait. What? Don't be shocked. The Mets are not getting a third base. Well, they've said that they're going to play J.D. Davis. We'll see how he is. You know, maybe he improves. You know, he looked a little better last year. You know. Benjamin says, Mets still said they are not done. That's right. And National League executives said they think the Mets are going to make a big move. I can come up with a trade for any of these players. You know, I can come up with a trade for Luis Castillo. If I wanted to sit down and think about it, I could do that after this live stream. You know, I could do a video to make you all think. Absolutely, here we go. I like your thinking, Rolo. I don't care what anybody says. That's right. Todd Frazier's still available. You know, not every is a superstar at every position. Not every team has a superstar at every position. You know. From Benjamin Hutt, here's the thing. If nobody goes for Bryant now, then more teams at the deadline will pursue him. And that's not true. That doesn't make any sense. You're going to know what teams are in it. What teams are in it right now that have a problem at third base? They all don't have problems at third base. Got to look at the need. From Bangkok. Why do we want Todd Frawley back? Well, he's played rather well. He's played rather well at times. I know one thing: he gets big hits. Joey says that's the Wilpon way, getting Frazier. Well, Joey, you need to get the Wilpons out of your mind. What we have to do when it comes to dealing with the Wilpons is exposing Jeff Wilpon and his hand in this thing with Steve Cohen getting off of Twitter. His hands roll with that. Samuel Acevedo. Batty Mauricio for Chapman. That's too much. That's too much. You give up one, not both. Give up one, not both, in a package. You can't give up two of the top 5 prospects for him. He's not good enough for that. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. You know, he's not a Hall of Famer. You don't give up that much for a guy like Matt Chapman. He's hit 250 hitter. Mothman, Batty's going to be great. You will say, okay, you know. If the Mets trade for a third baseman, now they'll have to give him up. But if the Mets are looking at Bryant, for instance, as a rental, there's no reason to trade Batty. Everything Sports 12. He has no idea. He has no idea what you're talking about. I really want a third base. I think J.D. Davis is the one thing keeping the Mets from the World Series. Well, I think the number one thing that's keeping the Mets from any kind of World Series situation is the closer. It's not even close. If Mets don't have a good closer, they're not going to win. It's as simple as that. If Diaz doesn't get the outs in the 9th inning, they'll win a lot of games, but it'll be a big waste of time. Third base is not that important, trust me, and in terms of this team. From Facebook, Mets Knicks Boreas Acevedo is there. What's going on? You're bouncing back and forth. Thank you. Whenever you leave a comment on Facebook, it helps. My chat's coming so fast. You know, if Diaz doesn't, I'm going to say this again. If Diaz doesn't pitch well, and here's the thing about Diaz. Chris Russo had said that he didn't think at the time of the trade, that he didn't think that he didn't think at the time that Diaz was going to do a good job in New York because he couldn't handle some pressure. He couldn't handle some pressure games in Seattle late in the season when the Mariners were making a bit of a run. And he turned out to be right. He was 100% right. Mets Knicks Boy says, I'm trying to send you pictures. Okay. Well, they're not bad pictures. I don't like bad pictures. It's not Mets related. I want nothing to do with it. They better not be sending any me Porter pictures. Don't get offended. Yeah. I don't want to see that. You know. I mean, Mad Dog was 100% right about Diaz. And he bombed. You know. Mad Dog, with all his histrionics, is very smart. He's very good. Very entertaining still. Michael Scott says this, watching Diaz pitch, one wonders how anyone can hit him. Here's the thing about him. He walks too many guys, and he gives up picks. I mean, he gives up hits when you don't want him to. Whew. That's a relief, Mets Knicks Bory. That's a relief. Thank you. You know. That's a relief. Thank you. But, yeah, so, you know, Diaz is the number one reason. I don't want to sound like a broken record. But if he doesn't get big outs, If he doesn't do what he needs to do to help this team win, then all this stuff is not going to mean anything. I mean, really, um, you know, the Mets are going to have a good offense. I think Pete's going to have a very good bounce back year. I really believe that this team's going to be really good. The pitching's going to be very strong. Obviously, they need to bring another reliever in here. Hopefully, they can get something out of all the guys that they've put on minor league contracts. I'm sure they'll have another move, up their sleeve. Hopefully, they bring in another pitcher. If not, that right now they're predicted to win 96 games. I think that's a little high, considering the whole problem with Diaz. But if they don't get anything from Diaz, they're just not going to win. It's as simple as that. And I'm being very honest with you. I'll tell any of the YouTubers too. I know that what was it? Mets fan was really a believer of him. I told him, don't be. Till he does it, don't be. Don't put your trust in him. From Michael Scott, not sure I would want Trevor Rosenthal, not Danny Press. Well, his name may be Trevor, but may not be like the other Trevor that we don't like anymore. Not that I liked Trevor Bauer, but Bangkok baseball, and they fleeced Brody out of Kelowna. Yep. Well, Brody was a dope. He was an agent. You know what the hell he was doing. And the Wilpons didn't care. They were selling the team. They didn't care. Trade this kid. They didn't care. They thought they were gonna get a postseason run and go out in the sunset. That's right. Morolo's Rockstar 20s. Brody fleeced the Mets with Jed Lowry somehow. I think that's worse than the Kelowna trade. You know what? You're absolutely right. So that's a big reason why they didn't get Liam Hendricks. Benjamin is because of Diaz. That's why a lot of these closers didn't sign with the Mets. That's why they couldn't get Brad Hand, because Brad Hand wanted to close. And they all kept saying that they probably were saying Diaz is going to be the closer. And they probably was like, well, okay, I don't want to be here. Samuel Acevedo. Lorenzo Cain would be a surprisingly good pick up via trade. I don't disagree with you. I actually like him a lot. I actually like Lorenzo Cain, even though he's a little bit older, and he has another year or so on his contract. He's not a bad idea. If there's an injury to somebody in the outfield, I wouldn't mind having him here. I always liked him a lot. When he was a free agent last time, I was hoping the Mets would have picked him up after he left the Royals. Felix Ortiz, what would it take to get Suarez and Amir Garrett? Amir Garrett? I don't think anybody wants Amir Garrett. Let's take a look at Amir Garrett. If you don't mind, please like the video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Let's take a look at Amir Garrett. Pitcher. He's 10-13. He's a reliever. You're not gonna get him. You can't get him. And he's not the closer on that team. They don't have a closer. No, who's the closer? Who did they sign? They signed Doolittle. Sean Doolittle's the closer there. Went to St. John's, Queens. He's from where's he from? He's from California. Went to St. John's. Interesting. Left-handed pitcher. It would take a lot to get him. I mean, what's his free agency status? He's got another 3 years. He's, he's not the closer on that team. He'll probably get moved in his career. Interesting. That's an interesting name. I hadn't really thought about him. His WAR very high, so he doesn't really affect too many games. Let's take a look. I know the silence is so great, isn't it? Me looking at my phone. Pitch in the postseason, gave up a hit. He sounds like he sounds. That sounds great. Rolo's Rockstars 20s. I can see Diaz costing us the division along with Familia and Patanz, but I still think this team is a wild card team. They're much better than that. Wild card is going to be like 85 wins. They're better than that, Rolo. They're 91 team. I mean, this team is so good offensively and defensively now. And the starting staff is very good now. I mean, with DeGrom and Carrasco and with Syndergaard coming back hopefully by June. And I think, Stroman's going to have a bounce back year. I think he's going to pitch much better with that defense behind him. He's a ground ball pitcher. He's going to pitch much better defensively than he did probably when he was here the first time. I mean, they really improved the defense at shortstop. It's going to make a big difference, and it might improve Davis's defense too. Because he won't have to go so much to his left now. They're going to have, he's probably going to have to cover the line more. The Mets are very good defensively now. Very, very good defensively. And Amora's better. The only, like I said, they need to see now that you have Francisco Lindor now playing shortstop. Like I said, you move Davis more to the line. He covers more of the line. The only problem with that is the throw's a little bit longer. But it seems like he's not very good at the short throws, so maybe he's better at the long throws. And obviously, defense in left field is a problem. But you take Dom out late in the game, you put Amora out there, or you move Nimmo over there, you'll be fine late in the game. But it's a very interesting group that they put together, and it's a very talented team. Can't be looking at the negative. That's the one thing that bothers me about some of the channels, some of the people that have come in to say hello to me. They're very, very negative. The Mets have a very good team, and you saw the MLB Network's top 10 list. The Mets have catcher, first base, second base, shortstop, center field, and right field, and starter, number one starter in baseball, all on the top 10. That's saying a lot. And a lot of them, most of them, are homegrown guys. Pete's a homegrown guy. Jeff McNeil's a homegrown guy. Nimmo, Conforto, DeGrom. That says a lot about the Met farm system. Oh, we got 2 people watching on Facebook. The second person, please say hello. I'll highlight your comment. Who else is in the chat? Hello, Vance. What's going on? What do you say? How you be? Can't wait for the season to start. Starts in a few days. Well, really started last week. From Benjamin, also the MLB has Mets rotation in number 3. Well, we'll see. Carrasco made a big difference. That's why I was very surprised they really pushed hard to get Trevor Bauer. Because Carrasco's just as good as him, in a lot of ways. And, he really is going to solidify this rotation. So that's why I was surprised that Mets wanted Bauer so badly. Bauer doesn't really, he's not a difference maker. Really none of the players, maybe to a certain degree, George Springer is. But really any of the other players that we talked about over the last few months are difference makers. The one difference maker that was moved was Francisco Lindor. Francisco Lindor is the best player that was moved this offseason. And, I guess number 2 was Nolan Arenado, So I see the names being discussed. I'm not disagreeing with any of them. I'm a little partial to blondes. I'll leave it at that. Let's take a look at Twitter. I'll look on the side here. Please like this video. And please subscribe. I don't see anything. Conflicting things about Jackie Bradley Jr. I'll mention. Over the last few days, we were hearing about him going back to the Red Sox. Then there was a talk that the Mets were still interested. The DH seems like it's not going to happen this year. It doesn't seem like the DH is going to be an option. It's too bad. And that's too bad because the Mets have a good lineup with that DH. Michael Scott. Other than David Wright, the Mets have never had a really good third baseman. I want one. Okay. Robin Ventura. Okay. Howard Johnson. Okay. So that's 3. Michael Scott. Robin Ventura, one of the best defensive third basemen and the Grand Slam King. And Howard Johnson, the 30-30 man, 2-time All-Star. And Edgardo Alfonso was really good at third, too. Ray Knight, he was only there for the 1 year. I wouldn't count Ray Knight as that. I was not a big fan of Ray Knight, believe it or not. Oh, yeah, Yasmiro. But he went to Oakland. Boy, he's been around long. He was in the Johan Santana move. Now, I know I'm going to give you some bad news tonight. I got some bad news, some sad news. A former Met has retired. It seems that Jared Hughes has retired. He pitched last year for the Mets, and now he is gone. Skadoosh. He skadooshed himself. Yes, we can't forget about Ubi Brooks. But Ubi became a better player when he went to shortstop. Became a more productive and more interesting player. And he was an outfielder. Let's look at Ubi's numbers one time. His wins above replacement was not very high. I know. Why would Hughes retire? I know. He wasn't that good, Matthew. Just another journeyman reliever. Well, if he wanted to retire, then maybe it's best that they didn't sign him, The space, though, did Pat Zachary scare anyone else when they were... I never saw him pitch. It's a little before my time. You want to know a reliever that used to scare the hell out of me? Doug Sisk. Sisk drove me crazy. He was scared. He was out there in the bullpen warming up in Game 6. That would not have turned out well. Doug Sisk coming out for the 11th inning in Game 6. Oofa. After the Mets tied it up, you talk about a downer. Yeah, Debbie Downer. So please like this video. Let's see how many likes we got in the video. Let's see how many we got here. At the Baseball Hut. Let's take a look. 37 likes. That's pretty good. And 5 grumpies. I got 5 grumpies here. Channel must be growing if I'm getting all these grumpies on here. Vance Billow. Orozco and McDowell. Okay. Orozco drove me crazy too. I liked Roger, but I he didn't make me nervous, but Orozco made me nervous. He pitched terribly in 87, by the way. Let's see I just want to mention that the Yankees are talking to Justin Wilson. I mentioned that earlier. But it seems the Mets were serious talks with that guy McEnade, saying they were serious talks, and then they didn't say nothing about it, and then the Yankees were in serious talks with him, but it seems like the Mets and the Yankees are both in serious talks with Justin Wilson. Everybody's serious, but nobody's getting signed. Rick Aguilera, you know what? I was thinking about this once. Rick Aguilera, they should have made him like the closer of this team. You know, instead of making the trade for Randy Myers for John Franco, they should just made Rick Aguilera the closer. Okay, now this is from Matthew Landau. Hut, would you say the Mets trade for Lindor is the best trade in Mets history? No, because Lindor hasn't made history yet. He hasn't done anything yet. That's not the all due respect, that's a ridiculous comment. That's a ridiculous comment. Because Lindor has not done anything yet here. The Mets haven't played a game. Some of the Keith Hernandez, Gary Carter, Mike Piazza, Don Clendenin. Those are the greatest Mets trades in their history. And all those went to them going to the World Series and winning the World Series. Francisco Lindor has not done anything for the Mets yet. So, with all due respect, that is not even close to it. Now with Keith, they brought in credibility. This team won 86 games 2 years ago. This brings credibility to the front office, this trade. It gives credibility to the owner. But this is not the greatest Mets trade in their history. If you want to be honest, it's probably the Keith Hernandez trade. Because up until that point, they traded Tom Seaver, and for 6 years they were terrible. They brought in Keith. They called up Darryl. Then a year later, they brought in Doc. But it's the rallying point. They brought him here to give them credibility. So, in all due respect, that's my opinion. A lot of people feel that the Keith Hernandez trade was probably the greatest Mets trade in their history. And then probably Gary Carter and Mike Piazza is very similar to Keith because he brought credibility too. But that team was good. That 98 team was already good. They had won 88 games the year before with a team that probably wasn't that good. Some would say they probably should have won more games in 98 with Piazza because he had Piazza on the team. They won 88 games again. You know. And Gary Carter was the last piece of the puzzle. And the first 2 years of Gary's career with the Mets, he brought in superstar production. You know. Matthew says this. No, I'm saying like best trade in regards to what they had to give up for the player. Best value, I guess you can say, putting aside what Lindor will do as Met. Well, the value, who knows what the value is? It's the same as you got to let history play itself out. You have to let the events play out. You know. You have to see where things take us. The Keith Hernandez deal, Neil Allen was basically a journeyman reliever after that, after he left the Mets. And Rick Gombe never pitched. I don't think he pitched in the majors. The Gary Carter trade, Huey Brooks was in that trade, and he was a very good everyday player. And Floyd Yeoman pitched a little bit, and Mike Fitzgerald was a serviceable catcher up in Montreal, but you know that was a little bit better trade for the Expos than it was for the Cardinals. And the Mike Piazza trade, the best player in that trade was Preston Wilson. And he had a very good career, you know. And, you don't know what's going to happen with, like Too Humble says, we don't know anything yet. God forbid the guy starts out on the season on the injured list. He could be injured and never play for the Mets. You know. But An explosive D. When all is said and done, it's very possible Lindor could go down as the best Mets strat. I don't think so. They got to win a World Series. And here's the thing. This team was good 2 years ago. On Santana's trade was exciting, but never pitched a playoff game for the Mets. Now, he pitched a no-hitter. And that's what Johan will be known for. The Space Dog, Whitey Herzog never was able to replace Hernandez. He replaced him with Jack Clark. Jack Clark was a good player for him. You know, he was the power guy on that team. You know. Michael Scott, when the Cardinals traded Gary Templeton to the Padres for Ozzie Smith, Cardinal fans went nuts. That was the worst trade ever. Well, Gary was a good hitter when he was with the Cardinals. He had like 200 hits a couple times, and Ozzie couldn't hit back then. He became a good hitter when he got to St. Louis. You know, Ozzie was already a great defensive player, but he was not anything of a hitter. He was terrible. You know. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And donations are welcome in the form of a super chat. So you want me to highlight your chat and embarrass you in front of the whole chat, in front of the whole everybody here, I'll be more than willing to do it. I have no problem embarrassing people. But I'm going to try my best this week in terms of embarrassing people. When I call WFAN this week. I'm not going to make any promises. I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best to call into the fan, on the fan, and see if I can make fun of Boomer Esiason. All you got to do with Boomer is just say, how come you guys never mentioned that Dave Portnoy was friends with Jeff Wilpon, and he was part of the ownership group that A-Rod had, and they didn't get the team. And why didn't they ask for a comment from the Wilpons, considering they owned the team when Mickey Callaway was the manager? We'll see if they say anything. I highly doubt it. Hello, Danny Choi. John Pastore. Barrow will suck in L.A. I think he's going to suck anywhere. The Space Dog. Tell Boomer that the Rangers are going to miss the playoffs. That would trigger him. Explosive D. Would you ever call Sal Licata whenever he's on WFN and ask how come he never criticized the Wilpons but went off on Cohen? They have all gone off on Cohen. And Sal Licata is always on late at night. I don't want to stay up and be screamed at by that guy. You know. The one thing I know about Boomer from the years of listening to the fan, Boomer is very thin-skinned. Everything bothers Boomer. Everything bothers him. So if you make fun of him, he bugs out. He's very uptight. You know, he really bugs out. Things really bother him deeply, to be honest with you. I don't like dealing with people that scream, you know. That's the one thing. I don't like Licata. I don't like John Jastrzemski because these guys scream. But no one wants to deal with people that scream. You know what I mean? I don't like. You want to talk, have a conversation, but you don't need somebody like acting like a lunatic. From Big Pop 1, what's going on? What are your thoughts of the two new pitchers? Well, they're middle relievers on minor league deals. They'll get long looks here in spring training. Mike Montgomery got the last out in the ninth inning. Not the ninth inning. The last out in Game 7 in the 2016 World Series for the Cubs. Tommy Hunter's a journeyman. We'll see what these guys have. Uh, you know, we'll see what happens. You know. From Michael Scott, Bergman or Chapman, not Brian. It's gonna be Brian. It's gonna be one of them. You know. I mean, they all scream. You know, they all scream. Who wants to be screamed at 2 o'clock in the morning? Especially if I mentioned the Wellponts. And I would point out the Wellponts are Salicata's employer because SNY was not part of this deal that they had with the Wellponts. So they still own the team and they still put out that crap about the Mets. Ernie Delgado, you see Canseco saying Happy Valentine's Day to everyone except A-Rod. Boy, A-Rod doesn't have any friends, boy. A-Rod's a backstabber. That's the problem with A-Rod. Matthew Landau, Hut, what's your opinion on Jose Canseco? Oh, he's a guy that every guy that he mentioned in his book or in the past, he said they did steroids and they all did steroids, every single one. So when it comes to the steroid thing, he's never lied, but he's nuts. Jose Canseco's crazy. He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And his thing, the one thing you can say about Canseco is he's not a liar. He's pretty honest. So if he said that, that A-Rod cheated on J-Lo, take that to the bank. He's not showing himself to be a liar. He may be crazy, but he's not a liar. A-Rod. Can you imagine A-Rod and Jennifer Lopez owning the Mets? And they break up? Oh, Pete Franklin? Oh, man, damn, Pete Franklin was a screamer. And another one was nuts. From Vance. In your opinion, who ends up being the Mets closer this upcoming baseball season? Well, it's going to be Diaz. As far as I know, it's going to be Diaz. Unless something happens where he doesn't pitch well. And that's a possibility. From Matthew, Canseco is one of those weirdos, Hud. I don't know if he's sure he fought a guy a couple weeks ago from Boston now. What's up with Barstools? They think everybody? Seems like they fight with everybody. This guy's a little unstable from Barstool. What are these guys, like warriors or something? Hello, Sean McD. Now, if you're coming here for the first time in the last few minutes, please subscribe and hit the like button on this live stream. 2 more likes will be at 11:40, folks. Yeah, I know. Bobby V was the best. In the space dog, Canseco's a rat. Well, that might be so, but every guy he said that did steroids, they all did steroids. Every single one. And he says there's someone in the Hall of Fame that did steroids. There's somebody in the Hall of Fame now. He didn't out the guy, but he said that somebody is in the Hall of Fame that was that took steroids. I have a pretty good idea who it is. I think you all know who it is too. But in the meanwhile, please like the video. Please like the video. So this week I'm gonna try to get call WFAN. Thursday. Well, I don't know about Thursday. What time am I at work on Thursday? Mofo has his live stream on Thursday. Probably be rushing to get home. The Space Dog, Harold Baines. No, it's not Harold Baines. Although I think they didn't play for it. They don't play. I don't think they play together. I don't think they play. No. The Space Dog says, no, it's not Piazza. Piazza's clean. Who do I think it is? Matthew Landau? Ricky does. Ricky knows. mean, think about it. Ricky played until his 40s. You know. Tyler Cartwright said a Conseco teammate took one of his milkshakes and got in the hall. Who? I bet you it's Ricky. Ernie Delgado, Sergio Romo took. Oh, okay. Who cares? You know. Who cares? Sergio Romo. Boy, oh boy. He's still pitching. Yeah, I think it was probably Ricky Henderson. I think it's probably Ricky. If you want my honest opinion. He played with them. They played together in Oakland. Ricky had a lot of injuries early in his career. Later on in his career, he wasn't injured so much. And he played into his 40s, Ricky. I love Ricky, so it's not like, I loved him when he was here, but, 99. When he started playing cards, that was kind of when his career with the Mets sort of went downhill. Ernie Delgado's bagel in the Hall. Yes, he's in the Hall of Fame, but I think he did something. You saw how jacked he was. When he first came up, he was like this skinny guy. Then he got all big. And then at the end of his career, and then now he's like a skinny guy, From Bangkok Baseball Hut, how did the Mets get Castillo? An interesting question. I have to think about it. I'm probably going to have to do a video on it. I'm going to have to upset some people with the title. And I'm going to have to come up with something. I'll have to come up with a video for Chapman, upset some people with that. Do you want me to upset somebody, Bangkok? And have people be angry at me as I get like 4,000 views on the video? From Vance, did anybody ever swing a baseball bat faster than Gary Sheffield? Eric Davis. Eric Davis had quick hands. But Gary did have a fast bat. Another guy that admitted that he was doing some kind of form of steroids. So, Bangkok, you want me to do a video talking about the Mets getting Castillo in a blockbuster trade? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Do you guys want me to do a blockbuster trade video? Do you want me to get you all upset? There you go, Ernie. There you go. There you go. Well, now if you trade Nimmo, you're gonna have to get Jackie Bradley Jr. 5 for 1 for Castillo. I don't know. Bangkok Baseball. Eric Davis didn't have quicker hands. Right? He may have quick hands, but he didn't put up. Got to put his hands up. He didn't put his hands up. Okay, I got to think about Castillo. See what the Reds need. How can I replace? How can I do a trade with the Cincinnati Reds? Got to think about it. That's an interesting idea. Should I do a Chapman video too? I don't want to upset people. If I upset people, I'll blame you, Bangkok. And then when you come back in the chat, one or two people complain, you made him do it. I'm going to have to think about it. Think about what kind of trade would be good with the Mets. Ernie Delgado. Barry Bonds' hands were quick. Knew the strike zone and did miss the pitch. Never seen anything like it. Steroids in that well. Sean McD. What could the Cubs possibly want for Bryant? I think Peterson and probably Alvarez. Oh, you'll take the Heat, Bangkok. Okay, that's nice of you. I get complaints here. I'm not watching your videos. I'm unsubscribing. Had that before somebody came in here. And my sub count still went up. I'm out of here. Screw you. I'm not putting up with this shit. I'm out of here. You'll take the heat. Well, that's nice. Well, during the day when I'm working, somebody's screaming at me, calling me a fraud, And I got to explain to them for like the millionth time that I'm not a journalist. Well, thank you, Ernie. You are the best. My people here. Ray Rods, trade Dom for Smith. Okay. Vance Bill, the 1990 World Series champion, Cincinnati Reds. Eric Davis, Paul O'Neill, Lou Piniella. I know. The Nasty Boys. Barry Larkin playing shortstop. Chris Sabo. Tom Browning. Michael Scott, bring Terry Collins back to do something. I think he's retired. Along with Dave Wright. I don't know what's going on with David Wright. I don't know if he left the organization and is just taking a break. I don't know. I think they said that David's taking a break. He's not part of the organization right now. But I know Terry Collins is basically retired. Matthew Landau, who's the better manager? Valentine or Collins? Valentine. Bangkok, I don't want to hear this. David Wright has health problems. Ooh, I don't like to hear that. Because of that back, right? Jerry Giacona. New name to chat. What's with manager being a kid? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean, Jerry. Hello, Jerry. Hello, Newman. I don't know what you mean by that. Sean McD. Do other teams value Smith as much as we do? Were you valuing him 2-3 years ago? I don't think you were valuing him that much. It's hard to say what other teams' value is on a player. Fernando. What's up, Fernando? How you be? What do you say? The Space Dog, best manager in Mets history. Gil Hodges, right. We should be in the Hall of Fame. Really? That's not good, Bangkok. Wright has that narrowing the spinal canal condition. That shit is no joke. It's degenerative and he has to take stuff for just to stay normal. That's not good. I don't want to hear that. It's terrible what happened. That he broke his back. Broke a bone in his back in 2000 and was it 2011? 2011. And that's when it started. Jerry, our manager's a kid, 33 years, accomplished nothing. Well, he's 38. Jerry, if you have a problem, go talk to the Wilpons about the manager. They hired the manager. Now, this is not the complaint department. I didn't hire the manager. Okay, I would have liked if they brought in Dusty Baker. If you have a problem, go talk to Steve Cohen about him. Was Joe Torre a player manager for the Mets at the same time? Yeah, he was for a little while. Michael Scott, I can't. Yeah, I would have liked to seen. I would have liked to seen Dusty be the manager here. They would have had a winning season. Pete would have had a really good year. because Dusty's very good with these big players. He's very good with the stars. He had Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent all those years in San Francisco. He was very good in Washington. It was a shock when the Nationals fired him. They never should have fired him. From Matthew Landau, did the Angels ever fire Callaway? They haven't fired him. They suspended him. I don't think he's going to get fired. I don't think he's going to get fired. They would have fired him already. And he said that it was consensual. Unlike Jared Porter, who said, I feel bad. Mickey has said that it's consensual. And if it's a he said, she said, then what are they going to do? Yes, 50 likes. Let's see. Sean McD points out the likes in the chat. Let's take a look. Yes, it's Happy Bobby Valentine's Day. 49 likes. I only see 49 here. Let's see. Now it's 50. There we go. From Bangkok, Mickey will probably be fired by his wife. She might have fired him already. That's not a happy marriage right there if he's doing that. Nicholas, Sergio Romo to the A's. Yes, we saw that. I mentioned that earlier. And the Mets signed a couple of minor league deals, Mike Montgomery, and the very famous Tommy Hunter. A's also signed Yasmiro Petit, and he was part of the Johan Santana trade many years ago. Also hearing that the price tag for Chris Bryant is extremely high, and that the Mets are not going crazy in terms of pursuing him, which is fine. And, of course, Jared Hughes has retired. I know. We know that everyone's very upset about that. We wish him well. Also, there are supposed to be 75 players in Mets camp. That's the maximum. And the Mets have 70 right now. So there might be 5 more movement over the next few days before pitchers and catchers, or even into the next week. So keep your mind out on that. Now, it's going to be interesting what we're going to do with this channel once the season starts. Because I'm not sure how many games I'm going to do on the weekends. Believe me, a lot of day games early on the season. And as you know, I don't come on early on Saturdays or Sundays until after the post game. From Vance Bill, any chance Marcus Stroman wins more than 10 coming season? Sure. I think he has a good chance. They have a good defensive shortstop. Sure. Manuel interim. Manuel's not a Manuel. What the hell are you talking about? Jerry Manuel. Jerry Manuel stinks. You don't want Jerry back here. Jerry. Jerry Manuel. Jerry Giacona is like hung up on the manager. Jerry, if you're so concerned about who's managing the team, why don't you call up Steve Cohen? I want to manage the Mets. That way you know more than some of these guys know. Now please like the video. I mean, really, if you're so concerned about the manager, which I am myself, I'm not going to keep going on and on about it. Joey, I don't think this manager is going to be doing that. I would be very surprised if Louis did that. He comes from a very good family. I don't ever see him doing that. I don't see him doing that one bit. If he does that, I'd be shocked. Be very, very shocked. Guys, if you have a problem with the manager or the general manager, email Steve Cohen. Email the Mets. You won't hear from the Mets. Or email, or send a letter to the Sandy. And tell him, look, I don't like the manager. I want to be the manager. I think I can do a bad job. He'll read the letter and he'll Oh, he's talking about Callaway. I thought he was just sending pictures of his, no shirt on. He's doing that too? Jesus Christ. The Space Dog. How can we be complaining about the manager in February? Well, they were complaining about the manager in January and December. Well, don't worry about those guys. Those guys are out of here. Porter's out of here. Callaway's out of here. But Frank, what's the latest Mets news? The latest Mets news is they've signed 2 relievers to minor league contracts. Mike Montgomery, who's a left-hander, he pitched the last out of the 2016 World Series. And the very well-traveled Tommy Hunter, who's right-handed, who I'm not too high on. Also, the Mets and the Yankees are both talking to Justin Wilson. Yeah, I agree with Michael Scott. I don't think he sent his. Oh, he was? I don't even know. If he was, then he, Now he says it's consensual. He said he was consensual. Now I would point out the Angels owe him a lot of money. Angels owe him like $1 million. So that's probably why they haven't fired him yet. They're probably trying to figure out how to send him on his merry way without him suing them. Now, please like this video if you haven't already. And subscribe to the Baseball Hut. And follow me on Facebook. I'm currently on Facebook right now. Live. Got 2 people watching me there. Thank you. Got 15 followers on there. That's pretty good. Ernie Delgado nuts. That's not the kind of word you want to use. Yeah, you don't want to use that word. You don't want to use that word. Patika, $2.5 million. Okay. I wouldn't have minded him here either. But obviously the Mets weren't interested. But there are 5 more spaces, 5 more slots for the Mets to bring in other players. So it's not full yet. And I don't know if they're going to trade now for Familia and Betances now. With Seth Lugo being out, having to sort of be away for, it's going to be sitting on the shelf for 6 weeks, not doing anything after his surgery. The Mets might not be able to move those guys. They might have to, not make any kind of moves now with them. Get rid of those salaries now. Say what you will about Familia, but if Familia throws strikes, he's very effective. Sean from Sean McD. If I had a Facebook, I would follow you. Well, thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just starting out with the Facebook. That's going to get a lot bigger over the next few months and stuff. I'll take my time with that. Just want to remind you, hello Selena. I want to remind you that I will be putting out merchandise over the next few weeks. My graphic designer is going to be looking at stuff I sent them because I am an artist. And I will get back to you. I have a couple websites. One website didn't sell hats, but it sells pretty much everything else. but the other website sells baseball caps. So I was happy to find that. A lot of my comic book buddies, they sent me all these different websites. And what's great about it is I put the design on these items, and you can decide to buy them or not. And you just deal with the you should deal with the website themselves, and I don't have to worry about the fulfillment. That's good for me. From Explosive D, Martino said the national anthem should not be played at any sporting event this year. Well, considering that every ballpark is taxpayer bought and paid for, Martino's an asshole. Everybody hates Martino. Okay? They would not be... I don't like getting political with the channel. There's the only time I'll say this. These players would not be taking a knee last year if they were people in the ballpark. Okay? There's nothing brave what any of these players did last year. I got Pat Cole. I got blocked by Andy. I'm so happy. I got blocked by him too. Because this ridiculous comment he said about that, that World Series is not really... I mean, World Series and Ultimate is ultimately the goal, but it's all about process. He made himself look like a fool, Selena says the Mets need to get Matt Chapman. Why? Need? You have to be able to get him, Danny Choi, Terry Leach was always my favorite during those years. I met Terry Leach. Many years ago at a car dealership. Got his autograph. You're one of the nicest players I've ever met. From Ernie Delgado, Familia's velocity is good. He just got so much movement on his pitches and can't control where the ball goes. That's right. That's a big problem. Ernie. But he's got to get these. See, when he first came up, he had that problem. And then for some reason, the light went on, and he was able to throw strikes. Now we have 3 people on the Facebook chat. Now, if you're in there, please say hello, because it helps Facebook. And if this if this page grows a little bit more on Facebook, I will do exclusive Facebook live streams. Hopefully that doesn't wear me out. That's not going to wear me out, is it? I don't know. So please, and like the video too. If you're on Facebook, please like the video if you're watching. But if you like, Facebook is a little different than YouTube, because Facebook, if you show up, it grows. On YouTube, not necessarily. It's weird, It's different kind of a different kind of criteria on both places. And we have to sort of remember our good friend Jarrett Hughes. He retired. Aw. So he is retired, and that's the end of that. Hardly knew you. With bug eyes and everything. Let's see what else is going on. Okay. Austin Barnes, catcher. As Ernie Delgado said. Ernie's like the news ticker. Ernie Delgado's like the news ticker. Ernie's the news ticker in the channel. Hello, William. Hello, Hudfather, and all. My Filipina is driving me nuts on Bobby V Day. She's cooking her chicken feet right now. Ugh. Chicken feet. Ugh. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that, man. That is not good. Ugh. Ugh. I'm sorry to hear that, man. You should have married an Italian woman. Then she'd give you good food then. She'd give you good food. That's who you marry. That's what I got to do. Well, thank you, Ernie. I appreciate that. William, you need to, you should have married a you should have married an Italian woman. Ugh. Selena asked me, what do you think Robert Gazelman's role is going to be? The last man out of the bullpen. He's got options to the minor league, so he'll be bouncing back and forth. If he don't pitch well in spring training, they'll send him right down. He'll be on the first bus from Syracuse. Syracuse, you love your Filipina? Well, you better teach her how to cook. At this rate, eat chicken feet. Ugh. Ugh. I'm not hungry either. Ugh. Everything Sports 12. He didn't know he left. So just to sort of mentions again, I have my community part of my channel up. Over the next day or so, I'm gonna start posting pictures on there of some of my own memorabilia and things that I like that I've collected over the years. Nothing crazy. It's nothing. It's all personal memorabilia that I have. I think maybe the first thing I'll post is this ring that I have of from the '86 team. I got a replica ring, or I could post a picture of my going to see my Piazza's first games in Met. I have the ticket stub. PVAS28 says trade for Chapman. Okay, I gotta figure out what would be a fair trade. From William Hut, I got in late. What's up with the memberships? Well, I'm waiting. YouTube doesn't tell you when they're gonna start putting this out there. They say when you get to 1,000 subscribers. About 2 weeks ago, I got 1,000 subscribers on the channel, and a lot of the stuff takes time. First you get monetized, then you get the chats monetized. Yesterday, I got the community site up, and I should be getting it soon. I don't know when. Within the next 2 weeks, I would think, if not sooner. Maybe this week. You'll know when the memberships are up because you'll see a join button. And I got to set that up. So, to a certain degree. So just keep your eye out for it. And when it finally is officially on there, I'll let you know. I'm trying to figure out what makes sense for me. I don't want to take away what Mofo has on his channel, because obviously we have different channels. We do different things. I do different things. So I don't want to have a Mr. Met emoji and all that stuff. I might not have a lot of time with the emojis, really. But, I could talk about different things. If you're a member, we could talk about different stuff, and maybe I can give you previews of different items that I'll be putting on sale. I don't know. But we'll see. From Selena, is Tommy Hunter good? Tommy Hunter is on a minor league contract. If he was any good, he would have gotten a major league contract, and he's bounced around. What's this? Darling and... All right, this is what happened. In 1982, the Mets traded Lee Mazzoli to Texas, and they got Ron Darling, Walt Terrell. And Terrell pitched for the Mets in 83 and 84. And Darling was here at the end of 83, and he was with the Mets till 91. But they flipped Walt Terrell after 84, and they traded him for Hojo. And Hojo was here all those years. William, you better have a Hut Father emoji. That's not a bad idea with Marlon Brando. It's not bad. Just remind me. Go put the mask on Marlon Brando. From James, what's up, Hut? You're up. What's going on? It's not a lot. There's been a lot of talk that the Mets are going to make some big move. That a lot of executives are talking about the Mets doing big things. A big splash, another big splash. The first big splash being Francisco Lindor. Orange and Blue Shirt Podcast. Let me tell you something, Orange and Blue Shirt. I'm going to sue the NFL for them using my name in every play. I'll tell you. I'll get my lawyer, Bubbly Edner, after them. You don't know Bubbly Edner yet. I haven't really done that. I haven't introduced her to you all. Pat Cole. Carlos Cortez hit 390. Yeah, he hit 390 in the Australian Baseball League. I said he was going to be a good hitter, and he was part of my proposed Francisco Lindor trade, which probably will turn out to be a better trade than the actual trade that the Indians made. But they seem not to be too happy with Ahmed Rosario. They want to trade him. Vance Billow. Nobody out-pizzas the hut, and nobody out-baseballs the hut. That's right. From Selena, you think the Mets are going to get Matt Chapman or Chris Bryant? Probably Chris Bryant. You know, the thing about Chris Bryant, if the Cubs play poorly, he will be dealt by July 31st. I can guarantee you that. Because he don't like being here, and I don't think they want to resign him. From Jerry, how many home runs will Alonso hit this year? Probably 45. 45 to 50. But the baseball is a little dejuiced, so probably 40. From Todd Lacan, now that Lugo's hurt, I don't know which Chapman people mean. That's Matt Chapman of the Oakland A's. Matt Chapman of the Oakland A's, the third baseman. You're not getting that other Chapman the Yankees have. Why would you want him? He's pretty much done. After the Cubs blew his arm out, he's pretty much done. He's not the same since then. I don't see anything new on Twitter. Doesn't seem like anything new on Twitter. It's pretty quiet right now. Michael Scott, Brian doesn't have that killer mentality. Well, it doesn't seem like he's happy there in Detroit. I mean, in Chicago. You know, he doesn't seem that happy there. You know, if he's not happy, then you know, then what's the point of anything really? And he hasn't been happy there for a long time. He doesn't feel respected by the team. He's probably one of these players that needs to be coddled a little bit. You know, some players are like that. From the names are just BXNMY. Brian is not a good fit for New York. He will be like Jason Bay. Well, that's ridiculous. You know, that's ridiculous. Jason Bay is a totally different story. You can't put things to the past. I think he'd have a revival here because then he'd be in a race. He'd be in a new town. I think he would play well for 2 months. I would not sign him to. He would not. He needs to go somewhere else. He needs to change the scenery. You know what I mean? Change the scenery would be great for him. He'd be on a really big team. The Cubs aren't a big team anymore. You know, since they're not a big team anymore, he's the kind of guy that probably does better in a good situation. He might be one of these guys that thrives off of a good situation, where he has a lot of guys around him, surrounding him, that are big players. He comes here, he's going to have big players on the team. He's going to have Francisco Lindor next to him. He's going to have Pete Alonso on the other side of the infield. He's going to have Dom Smith in the outfield, Michael Conforto. He's got the best pitcher in baseball. Well, he's only going to be here for 2 months, okay? Wasn't soft when he won the MVP, and he wasn't soft when he won the Rookie of the Year. Reginald, in retrospect, hello, Reggie. In retrospect, do you think the Mets could have pursued George Springer much more aggressive, or perhaps they did the right move, not overpaying him? Keep up the great work. I would have signed him, but there is a point where you don't like go overboard. I was saying 200 million. He got what, 150, 175, whatever it was. You know, uh, I would have tried to get him. I would have. That's just me. That's just me. But they wanted to but the problem is they brought in Lindor. Once they brought in Lindor, that was basically it with Springer. They were moving on from Springer. They were going to give him They were going to give him a certain amount of money, and that was it. Because they kind of look at Lindor as a guy they can give him a big contract, and they have Conforto out there to give him a big contract. I don't think Conforto's coming back here next year. That's my own opinion. Thank you, William. Please like the video and subscribe. I don't think that he's coming back. That's my own opinion. Because of the agent. And I just got that feeling. I don't know why. I just got that feeling about Conforto. And I think there'll be a limit with him too. There'll be a limit with him. From Robin McClure, I like Mike Montgomery, Tommy Hunter. I don't like Tommy Hunter. Mike McClure's left-handed. He's pitching in big spots. We'll see. Robin McClure, which one of these guys will we traded for or signed turns into R.A. Dickey for us? None of them know the fork. Know the knuckleball. From William, in 3 years, the Blue Jays will regret that contract. I think so too, but I think it's a little bit different up there because they're a very young team, and they kind of need a guy they need a guy up there that's a veteran guy. So I think that contract's going to be okay. The first part of that contract, he's going to be really good there in center field, but he's on the turf, and that should be taken into account. From Robert, but I mean from nothing to science. I don't think so. That doesn't happen too often. BX says 250 for who? Michael Conforto. He's going to want that. Danny Choi, ask Canseco if Pete Rose is gambling again. He never stopped gambling. He never stopped gambling, Danny. He's still gambling. Now, please like this video, as William has put in the chat. And if you're coming through, subscribe to the channel. I will be back again in the live stream tomorrow night. I don't know if there'll be a video during the day. Just got to keep your eye out for it. From Ernie Delgado, Conforto, watch these numbers Boris comes out with. He's not coming out 5 for 100. No, he's not. It's going to be 8 to 10 years at 250 plus. I'm telling you. He's going to want a lot of money for him. I like Michael Conforto. Don't get me wrong. But there's going to come a point where you're going to ask yourself if he's worth all this money. You're going to wonder if he's worth all that money. I don't know yet. I really don't know. But we'll see what the money's going to be. BXNMY says 8 years for one. No, he's not going to get that. He's going to want more. He's going to want at least 250. No, I'm telling you. It's going to be 250. 8 years is probably close to it. Let's see. 250 for 8 years is $31.25 million. The Space Dog, Harper money for Conforto. No. It'll be 250 for 8 years. He's 27 years old, goes into year 35. Ernie Delgado, look what Boris is trying to get for Bradley Jr. Guy has no right. He has a $10 million year play. Exactly. From Robert, can we sign Alonso long-term soon? Well, let's see. Let's have another year of Pete. You know. BX says, I just don't see Conforto being that great. You don't know. You don't know that. I'm telling you, he's going to look for a lot of money. Francisco Lindor will be easier for the Mets to sign than Conforto. That I can tell you. He's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's not going to be like, going back and forth. He's not going to try to get, he's going to get every penny that he wants, but push comes to shove, he's going to want to be here. Jerry Jacona, well, you have a good day and a good night. And thanks for coming by. And please like the video before you leave. Don't worry about the manager. The manager will work itself out. These things work themselves out at some point. Yeah, Conforto's going to be looking for a lot of years and a lot of money. To be honest with you, I can guarantee you that. Now, also, when this video is uploaded onto YouTube, finished, please leave comments in the comment section. Also, as you know, the Godfather of baseball would really appreciate it if you were to watch the ads, believe it or not, and because the family gets as much of the profits as it gets. So that's very important to us. What's with this time machine? Everybody's talking about the past. Joe Negro, where did he come from? The 1969 Orioles. Yes, watch the ads out, and really is important to our family here. Robert, Rays used to buy out all their ones with big goals and big aspirations. From William, how tell Facebook people to watch the ads. There's no ads on Facebook, William. There's no ads on Facebook. But please follow me on Facebook. I'm Robbery. The HUD father thanks you. Uh-oh. The HUD father thanks you, Vance. In advance. Pat call Facebook is terrible. Well, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I'm not doing politics on this page, so for the most part. But I know people don't like it. How more Danny Joy? A little behind, Danny. A little behind in the chat. We mentioned the Reds a little while ago. Hal Morris and Paul Neal kicking the ball back into the infield. They tell me he wasn't on steroids, Paul Neal, with this roid rage he was going through. Same thing with Rob Dibble, Rob Scribble. Well, your HUD father appreciates everything you do here, Vance, in advance. Thank you. If he were here, he would tell you thank you. Hey, what's going on? Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Hashtag Joey. Thank you, Joey. I appreciate it. Very generous of you. Thank you. I have another star here tonight. Joey's a star. Thank you. I appreciate it. My family appreciates you. From William, let's hashtag Joey for me. If Mofo doesn't mind, if he's out there. From William, Hut, do you slice garlic with a razor blade? No. It's from Goodfellas. He used to slice it so thin it would melt in the pan. And we would make steak and it would smell out the place so bad the humps couldn't do anything about it. Thank you, Joey. Hey. Ernie Delgado. Ding, ding, ding. Hashtag Ernie. Another star. Star last night. Let's go Mets. Let's have a great year. Thank you. Well, thank you. Very nice, you, Ernie. You're very nice. Thank you. Hashtag Ernie. Hashtag Joey. The space dog. Henry Hill was a rat. Henry Hill was a real guy. He was a rat. But he wasn't like full Italian. His mother was Sicilian, but his father wasn't. Yes, thank you, Ernie. Thank you, Joey. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. You know, even if this wasn't part of the channel, I do appreciate you coming all here and having a great conversation and talking about the Mets and talking about life, I guess, in general. So I do appreciate the company, as it were, here tonight and really every night. That's all the regulars are here every day, and I can't thank you enough. It's great, and it is Let's Go Mets. You know, and when the channel gets a little bit bigger, I'm going to do my best to highlight you all more. Because really, you watching my videos, I will not forget this. I don't forget people support my channel. You know, and means a lot to me. Because the other channel is really it's train wreck. You know, I will point out that with the comic book hut that I will be doing some videos soon. And I will be doing a video in the next 2 weeks. Earthworm Jim, Fight the Fish. I'll be getting that book. Valentine was a great comic book artist and great storyteller. And he's one of my comic book buddies. And I'm very honest about things that I go through. Whatever book it is, or if I'm talking about a creator, very honest. And I'm very honest here with you. So I tell you what I think. And then after that, I'll be getting this comic book toy called Spawn, and which will have a comic, which is a character created by Todd McFarlane. He was a Spider-Man artist back in the 90s. Why does everybody want to know how old I am? It doesn't matter, Space Dog. But, so I will have this book called Spawn and this toy called Spawn, and I'll do a review of that. I don't do too many reviews like that. I just wanted to be different. and just be part of the in crowd. From Vance Billow, Hut, do you think the Mets should have won 3 World Series in a row from 86 to 88? Well, the thing that hurt them in 87, the thing about 87 was that Doc Gooden had the suspension. And because of the suspension, when he came back, he won 15 games. He probably would have won 20 games. He was still good that year. And if he hadn't missed those first 2 months, because those first 2 months put them in such a hole that it took them the whole season to get back into it. And because of that hole that they were put in for the first 2 months, they were 14 games behind in that season. And they got it down to a game and a half when they played the Cardinals that Friday night. When Pendleton hit the home run, they would have been half a game if they gotten out of that ninth inning. You know, should they have won 3 in a row? They never got a chance to repeat. You know, they had all these injuries to the pitching staff. Darling was hurt. Fernandez was hurt. Aguilera, Bobby Ojeda, David Cone. Everybody was hurt that year. Roger McDowell, everybody that was big on that team from the year before, and guys that became important later on, didn't pitch well or were hurt. They had to rely on like the white Bob Gibson. And I say that because, just for obvious reasons, Terry Leach, who won 11 games, and a whole bunch of other guys that shouldn't have been here. And they still won 92 games. So, but really 88 was my biggest disappointment as a fan. Because they won 100 games. They won 100 games that year. And they dominated the Dodgers. Not so much dominate, but they beat them 10 out of 11 games. If anybody watched those games against the Dodgers, if you remember, they were all close. All the games were 1 or 2 runs or less. Well, 1 or 2, but 2 or 3 runs or less. So all the games were close. So it was only a matter of time before the Dodgers won 4 out of 3, or 4 out of 7. The Dodgers won 94 games that year. Won 94 games. They weren't like some, an underdog like they made it out to be. They had the best pitcher in baseball on the team. They had Kirk Gibson in the outfield, who was a very good player. I don't think he should have won the MVP. I thought Darryl should have won it. And they should have won 88 and then the A's. But I would point out about the Mets that year, beginning of the season, they got off to a great start. And at the end of the season, they had a great start. And the middle of that season, they were a 500 team. So they already showed themselves to be very inconsistent, even with the 100 wins. From James, I listen nightly. I truly enjoy the channel. Well, thank you, James. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the opportunity to watch. I'm not a broadcaster. Obviously, I do a lot of and sort of goofing around here. So I'm not polished. The Space Dog in 88, David Cohn should not have written that column. Right, and then Tommy Lasorda posted it in the Dodgers clubhouse right before Game 2, David shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done that. The Space Dog, if the wild card existed back then, the Mets would have had a dynasty. Well, they would have been there 84, 85, 87, maybe 89, 90. They would have went to postseason from 1984 to 1990. So that's 7 years. From Space Dog, at the Hutfall, you would be good on the radio. I would be okay on the radio. The thing is that I go for like 2 hours here, and those guys and ladies, they don't go for 2 hours straight, with no calls and no breaks. They get breaks every 15 minutes. Every 20 minutes. I don't get a break. I do the best I can. Yes, like the video, as William says in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, the wild card, the Mets would have been so good with the wild card. They would have been the wild card team in 84, 85. 85, man. That was a great team, that 85 team. The thing that hurt them that season was that Darryl was hurt for 6 weeks with that thumb injury. And because he had that thumb injury, the team was a 500 team. The Space Dog sounds like WFAN. You would be good. Well, I have my own opinions. They would not like that. They all have the same opinions on the fan now. The Yankees are great. The Mets are cheap. They don't do anything right. And then there's the schmoozer. How you be? Me here, you there. I remember I was doing an interview with Charlie O'Finley and he hung up on me. From Fernando. Hojo wore out Todd Rowell. That is true. And I tell you how much he wore him out. In 97, he wanted to make a comeback, Hojo. and they had a spring training game down in Port St. Lucie, or was where the Cardinals were playing. I was where the Cardinals were playing. Their ballpark. And Hojo hit a home run off Todd Robrell. He hit a home run off of Todd. He didn't make the team, Hojo, but he's still on Todd Robrell. He owned him. Wore that guy out. Even at that age, he still hit him. Yeah, William Darrow had a great swing. One of the great all-time swings you'd ever seen. Now, please like this video. I'm going to be ending the live stream momentarily because I'm getting tired. My voice is kind of a little bit. And again, I want to thank you again. I want to thank you again for coming by tonight. Also want to thank people that have gone onto Facebook and watched me on there. I appreciate you there. We'll be back tomorrow night. I don't know what time. And that's another thing, Space Dog. Doc and Daryl, when you rely on two guys that have all those personal problems, you're not going to win. From Hunter. What's going on, Hunter? Do we make another big move, Hut? Well, we'll see. I think that be patient. Be patient. I don't think it's going to be Brian now. Brian might come later. Maybe they bring in a starter. Maybe they bring in Luis Castillo. You never know. Vance, would you say that Wally Backman was an average second baseman? Yeah, but defensively, yeah. Keith made everybody better on that side of the infield. From the Morphman, I truly believe this is just my opinion. Sandy has a small market mentality. That's not necessarily a bad thing. He's not going to be taking bad risks. He did get this team to the World Series in 2015. Keep that in mind. And now he's got a guy that's the owner that's not getting in the way of what he has to do. William, did you see that 30 for 30? Doc's that's a few years ago, right? That's a long time ago. Yeah, it's a mess. He's a mess. I feel bad for Doc. Let's talk with Hayden. What's up? How you doing? So I want to thank you all for coming by because I'm getting tired. It's been a long day, running around. And well, Sandy is the grandfather of Moneyball, you know. So I want to thank you all for coming by. Any good updates from Aiden is asking me. The Mets signed the minor league contracts, Mike Montgomery and the journeyman Tommy Hunter. And that's pretty much it. And then serious talks along with the Yankees for Justin Wilson. So we'll see where that goes. So I want to thank you all for coming by. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Ernie, for the nice chats and really the nice conversation with all of you again tonight. And we will be back here tomorrow at some Hut time on this Hut channel. Also keep an eye on the community page. Also keep an eye on the join button on the channel itself. I don't know when that's going to go on, but keep an eye out for it. I'm going to jump on that as soon as I can. Also keep an eye out for the merchandise. I'll be talking about that at some point next week or two. And thank you for watching this video. Thank you for participating in a great live stream again. And again, I'll see you tomorrow and have a good night.